Writer Emma Woolf and entrepreneur Will Hodson are with us for a look through this morning's papers. Hello, good morning, to both of you. Will, let's start with the story about missing Gaynor Lord, which is on the front of many of the papers. I mean, as we were saying earlier, there's a disappearance and a reappearance dominating the papers. Gaynor Lord, it is coming up to a week now since she vanished after leaving work in Norwich. And we've had this new CCTV, which we can see on the front of the Express.
That's right. It's a very, very distressing story, which is going to bring back memories of Nicola Bulley. I grew up in Norwich, and Norwich is where Gaynor worked, in Gerald's, a department store where I'd meet my mother after spending an afternoon looking around the shops with my friends. So this is all hitting home pretty hard, but she's not been seen for a week. The police have found clothes in the River Wensum, which is where you'll find, by the park, Wensum Park, which is where the river runs through. They're saying they're unable to explain her behaviour, and they're saying, tragically, everything they know is pointing to a high probability of Gaynor being in the water. Now, what the Express have got is not just CCTV footage, but also phone calls. So it appears that Gaynor made a couple of phone calls to one of her closest pals, and these are the moments that would haunt you, because the pal couldn't take the call. So a lot of this article is her speculating about what might have happened if she'd been able to answer that phone call from Gaynor.
Well, so the first call was at 2:15, wasn't it, to her?
That's right.
She said, I can't answer the call. She then tried to get back in contact with her. There was another call at 4:15, but it sounded more like a pocket call, a call that you make by accident.
That's right. 4:15 was a pocket call. That's all they've got to go on. So there's so little to... They're clutching at straws here, and no one knows how to explain what's happened over the last 7 days.
Yeah, I know Norwich very well as well, and what strikes me, and I said this earlier, but she's running across that road, she's dodging the traffic, it looks like she's late for something, whether it's to meet someone or is she in a hurry for some particular reason. At Gerald's, which I also know, it's a very old-fashioned department store, it's a great department store, but she goes out the back entrance. There's lots of stuff here, Emma, that doesn't add up.
I know, and what Will was saying about the sort of the reminiscences with this and the Nicola Bulley case and the mention of the river there, you just once again think back to that time, but also what Gaynor's family are going through, trying to piece it all together, just as we are. What does it all mean, and the feeling of the friend who's obviously missed that call, which you then can't go back to that time. It's just horrendous, and I do hope that the police are a little bit more sensitive in their handling of it. And
I mean, they say they've been talking to Lancashire Police and that they are learning lessons from
I think that was quite badly.
The Nicola Bulley inquiry, particularly in terms of the amount of information, personal information, that is put out into the public domain. It's a difficult balance, isn't it? Because when you're in a search like this and they're relying on the public to come forward with information to try and piece together those movements. But how much do they say?
It is, and not to rehash or to beat the police up again about the Nicola Bulley case, but I think that most people are agreed that the amount of information, very, very personal female information that was released was just not in any way relevant to the case. Unnecessary, intrusive, and also just, you know, humiliating for any woman to have to go through that, whether, you know, whether it's in a manhunt or not.
I mean, it's tricky, though, isn't it? Because there's a line in there, I think, from the friend saying that she didn't feel herself, that there was some comment made.
A colleague at work.
A colleague at work.
I feel a bit funny.
So there's a real disparity here about how much you tell the public in terms of trying to glean information, and at the same time not saying too much so you don't preempt the investigation. The police are in a very difficult position, I think.
No, I totally agree. I mean, all the reporting I've seen is about solidarity with her husband, Clive. He's being looked after by their daughters. As you say, you know, what more can you do? Because at the minute, you've just got a huge unexplained afternoon, followed by 7 days of total mystery. And at what point do the police start saying, is there anything else we can release that might attract some kind of comment, that might jog some kind of memory?